Spanish Morocco.
Hello everyone, this is General Hand Grenade. Welcome back to Tulsa. We are setting up 1914 right now. We're about to start the live stream.
Stockholm.
Everybody is just getting the last little bits ready and going through rules and doing setups. So I'll go over the board here slowly. This is not final art. Like you look at this, it just says logo. That's where the logo is supposed to go. So this is not final art. This is just, you know, a map that to play test on. So one of the cool things here, can you move that box a little bit, please?
Oh, you bet.
So there's where a lot of the action is going to be. So it's a kind of a blow-up box for a region.
Action
is
right
cool
here.
Because you look over there and it's pretty crowded, right? So that's going to come in pretty handy. You can see there's railroads that go around and everything.
So we just did Switzerland. Anything else?
But you know, like getting the rest of this is a global game, not just a Europe game. Where we think of most of World War I happening, but there was stuff happening around the world. So I'll be interested today to find out what that is, because I have to admit I don't know what was going on in Asia and in the Pacific in World War I. More of a European history guy when it comes to this era. There's the American player there. He needs his nukes. Where's my nukes? We got Zeppelins in this game. We got bombers. We got dreadnoughts and pre-dreadnoughts and torpedo boat destroyers. There's a number of units in this game that are not in any other World War games that you might have seen. There's mountain infantry and there's militia. There's cavalry, and of course, show me a camel. Anybody got a camel there?
I got one of yours, buddy.
There we go. There's a camel. I'm the French guy. So, interested to see how the camels work out.
He came from the Paris Zoo.
From the Paris Zoo, yeah. So, he's going to be good in the desert. We know that. Anyway, so I'm going to get going here so we can get this game going. Just wanted to show you before we started.
Camels that are
okay, so we're back. We played the first two turns and we're going
so we do
into
have
1915.
Here
each turn is
that are painted the color of.
So you can see here at one point we had a choice.
So
the British had a choice whether to
German
align
Camel
China or to align Japan. So he had to pick. Bob decided to pick Japan. So Japan is playing on the side of the Allies, the good guys. And not much has happened. The French has taken over the Mediterranean here, as you can see, taking control of it. And we've had some rules that we were playing and that we've dropped so far because they just weren't working out. So we got to try to give them some more thought before we get back into them. But actually, a lot of stuff happening up there on the eastern front there. Russia doesn't look like they have many things left because the Germans and the Austrians keep attacking them. But over on the western front, nothing has happened. I think there is one thing that you can do with your artillery is just, without even moving in, you can just shoot them across the border. And so I was able to kill one German that way. That's the only thing that's happened on the western front. Bunch of naval battles, and some French guys have moved down here. The American player, he just writes down a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I can't nuke. I can't nuke in this game.
America's got a really big job in this game, but it's not rolling dice.
Or do I need to let you know?
And the Ottomans, they don't start until the second turn of the game, so they're in the game now. They've had one turn at it, one kick at the can.
Yeah. Well, you only tell me if...
Most of the action so far, like I said, is on the eastern front up there. And Doug's the German player. He's going to go again. Let's see if he's still scared of my French guys down there.
It'd be a big region if we did it that way.
He's packing up everything now.
If you want to combine it, you leave yourself out of the opportunity of doing something fancy.
Serbia had 9 aircraft.
Serbia?
Well, and that's what's hard for me to tell because
Hasn't
of
been
that
warned
militia
anyway.
mistake and maybe a little bit too much money. They never really threatened me up there, you know.
Hey,
So that's
Bob
It's
leaves in
very
the
hard-
morning,
it's
so we
very
need to
hard
do a
to
group
discuss
picture.
that
With that, can you do
while
a
you,
delayed picture on your phone?
here.
I don't know how to
Yeah.
do delayed pictures,
Well, that's
but
why I told Will.
we
I
can
was
certainly
like,
use my
just
phone
going
for a
off the
picture.
sheet I
Misha,
made
you know how to do a delayed picture on an iPhone? You can set it here and,
Very nice.
Yeah,
I've maybe.
yes or no?
No.
Yeah.
I'll Google it. You got an iPhone, right?
Yeah.
Do you know how to do a delay?
No,
No.
he's already said no.
Delay what?
I put my
Delay
Picture.
photo on an iPhone?
Should be easy enough to find out.
Should not be difficult.
Oh, can you have Siri do it?
I already have
Siri,
her
do
doing
a
my
delayed
laundry.
photo.
First have it
Siri, take a photo in 10 seconds.
Yeah, there's a timer button. Launch the camera app on your iPhone, tap on the timer, choose either 3 or 10
I think
seconds.
she's gonna do it.
Japan had 24.
Okay, she opened the camera.
Oh, there's a little
Okay, she
clock
didn't
up
take a
there.
photo.
There it is.
Oh,
Midnight,
I found it
Japan
So we
too.
can put it on your stand.
Had 24 float planes.
No,
4
you can't,
Farman F7,
because you'd have to have this case on there.
and a
No, no,
Newport
your phone.
M1.
Oh, okay, yeah, we can do it. So I just gotta, let me just finish this off then. Okay, so we're gonna finish off this video.
Violet,
Thanks
I'm
for
up to
joining
that.
us this last couple days here at Historical Board Gaming. This game here, we still got a lot of work to do on it. Clearly, it's not going to be done this year, but we didn't think it would be. It's going to be sometime next year, hopefully. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for joining us here. Okay, so here we are. It's the next day. Everybody's pretty damn tired. There's just me and Misha in the shop here, where it's just me and him and about 8,000 pieces of plastic that we can see, and then another 100,000 pieces behind that. I'm looking over Misha. He's taking all the freebies now. Doug put a box of freebies out there. Said take whatever you want. It's just all kinds of hodgepodge of stuff, metal pieces and everything. But anyway, he's been really generous to us this weekend and took us to a lot of great restaurants and everything. And yeah, we've had such a great time this weekend. It's been really interesting. I've always wanted to be a part of designing, because I mean, if you're watching this video, you probably are somebody that loves these games, and you always thought, man, they should do this or they should do that, and you know, I wish the rule was like this, or you know, this would be a great thing to do. Well, you know, we actually got to do that here this weekend. We actually got to say, you know, this is what we should be doing, or I really don't like this rule, and I think that all of us can say that we were a part of doing that. You know, like I'll be able to say to myself, okay, yeah, I made that rule when I see the rule book, and everybody else can do the same, right? So that's kind of neat that you get an opportunity to do that. But also meeting the guys down here too. So just like when you go to those tournaments, you know, when I went to the Grasshopper tournament and stuff, you meet people that are totally into these things. You know, we're going to a restaurant and we're talking about, you know, Russia invading this and that, and people are looking at us like what the hell are these people doing? We got a Russian guy sitting at the table with a Russian accent. They're wondering what's going on. And well, he's an American guy, but he's got a Russian accent.
And speaking a little bit of Russian at the table. There
And
last
speaking
night.
Russian, yeah. So yeah, but I mean, we're totally into, you know, like this kind of stuff, and so you get, you know, like you spend a whole weekend just talking about mostly that. I mean, we talked about other things too. When you're with people from other countries and stuff, inevitably you talk about your healthcare systems and your taxation and, you know, things like that, comparing universities and, you know, what it's like where you live and things like that. But for the most part, we just talked about rolling dice and killing little pieces of plastic. but yeah, that was a lot of fun. And I tell you, I sure had a good time the other day at VK Cowboy's house. He's an awesome person, and him and his wife took me into their home. He drove to Tulsa to pick me up, from the airport, and then he took me back to his house in Oklahoma City, or an undisclosed location outside of Oklahoma City. And then we played that game the other day, and then the next day he drove me back here and dropped me off at my hotel. And so what an awesome guy. Had a great time at his house. So yeah, it's been a good trip, and I still got another day left. Doug is not here because he's driving 3 guys to the airport right now. Yeah, 3 guys.
Yeah, I think
one guy left really early, so he had to take an Uber, and Misha and I think somebody else is going later today.
Yeah, it's
No,
me.
not Morton anymore. It's just you going to the airport later.
It's just me.
So yeah, he's going to the airport later, and then I'm staying till the morning. I'm gonna stay until tomorrow morning. What do you got to say for yourself there, young feller?
Well, my name's Misha, for any of you who were following this weekend. And for me, this was kind of a crazy weekend because all I really do is a Facebook page for regular Axis and Allies. And so, yeah, Doug invited me out here with all these old pros, and you know, I was a little bit
Are you saying I'm a hooker?
I don't know how you guys call it up there, but I can attest, Hand Grenade was a good roommate these last few days. So if anything, the guys were real good to me. I kind of learned a little bit of Global War 36 and 14, and I kind of being the new guy, I broke a couple of the first games here because I didn't break them, but I was playing as the Russians in my first 36 game, and I think everybody was surprised that I won the Civil War. That kind of threw the game for kind of a funky loop.
No, that happens. It probably happens about a third of the time.
About a third?
Yeah.
Because I was playing against Morton, and he was like, "That's only the second time I've seen that." I was like, "Well, that's what happens when you mess with a Russian." Yeah, and then yesterday, they kept wondering how I was doing so good as the Russians in 1914 here. All the battles were pretty much going on over there. And yeah, by the end of the game, they were just getting all frustrated, and they were saying, well, you know, they weren't accusing me of nothing, but they're like, "How are you doing so good as the Russians?" And I was like, "Well, you don't mess with the Russians." And they're like, "Well, this last game we played, that didn't happen." And so here, come to find out, Will wrote the wrong price for the units on my chart, so I was getting things cheaper than everybody.
Yeah.
And
he was getting $1 militia.
So we figured that out at the end. So the whole time I got to see Will sweating bullets, that his whole dream here was falling apart before his eyes, and then all of a sudden at the end of the game there, we figured out why. So
yeah, we found a lot of issues in this game that need to be tightened up, and not surprisingly, because it hasn't been play tested much, right? I mean, this is a really big game. It's just as big as the I don't mean physically the map, but I mean the game itself. It's just as big as the 36 game, and most of the mechanics are the same, but of course it's a different war with different weapons and vastly different political situations. And so trying to get those represented in the game has been a big challenge. And we started one way, and then we changed, and then we changed, and then we changed, and then we finally got frustrated and went for dinner. So there's still a lot of work to do on this game, but I can see that it's going to be a really cool game, and it's going to have camels in it. So, I mean, how could you go wrong with that, right? The only game I've ever seen with camels in it.
And they look realistic too.
Yeah, realistic camels. So anyway, that was great that you guys, if you had the chance to watch the live stream. I know it's kind of weird watching a live stream because everything is backwards. I don't like it too much myself, but I mean, it's neat to be able to listen to the people and to see the arguments that they're having, and you know, and you're thinking yourself, you know, that there's this and that, and for the people who were commenting, we were when we were arguing about stuff, there was quite often somebody would go over there and read the comments and stuff, and then they would read them off to us. And so the people who were watching and commenting, your input as well went into these games this weekend, to the 36 game and the 14 game, in 2025 as well. So he was writing your comments down as you. He writes a lot of stuff down. He even takes his pad when we go for lunch and for dinner in case somebody says something interesting. I'm talking about Will here. So he was writing all your comments down, and not all of them, but I mean if he thought it was an idea worth exploring. So those people also had a hand in helping us design these games here.
Yeah, I was joking with Will last night because he was walking out to the car with his notebook, and he's been writing so many ideas for the game in there. I said, you better watch out. I'm going to take that and hawk it online.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up here. It's been a lot of fun coming down here, and if you ever get a chance to come down here and do some play testing, I like if you ever get an invitation, I highly recommend you take it because it's a lot of fun. And it's very interesting, and your eyes will explode when you see the amount of plastic in this place.
Oh yeah.
So goodbye from Tulsa.
Take care, guys.